Well, it is Christmas weekend, and if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, you'll see I have my Santa hat on because I'm celebrating. But you know, and I know that while we all desire to have the perfect Christmas weekend and celebrations, oftentimes Christmas doesn't turn out to be perfect. So how do you deal with a Christmas event or celebrations or expectations when they don't work out? Well, we'll talk about that on today's Pivotpreneur episode. Let's pivot.
Here we go. Pivot. Pivot. Pivot.
Well, hello everybody. I am Todd Stalker, your Pivotpreneur coach and mentor. And it is Christmas weekend. I absolutely love Christmas. My staff goes a little bit nuts because October 1st I start playing Christmas music and they just think that's too early. In fact, actually somebody corrected me recently and said, "No, Todd, you don't play Christmas music starting October 1st. You play Christmas music all year long." And unfortunately, they are correct because I love Christmas. I just love it. And I have so many great memories. You know, I grew up, my earliest memories were in Canada. I was born in Chicago, grew up in Canada. So we had these nice thick winter Christmases. And then in Grand Forks, North Dakota, where most of my early childhood Christmases were remembered, that was where the snow was deep, it was cold, and we just did all the wonderful Christmas traditions. My parents were both teachers, so not exceeding in all of the money things, but we had tons of gifts every year. Each of us kids, 4 kids, got anywhere from 10 to 15 gifts and major things. And I remember one of my favorite gifts, and I don't remember what year it was. I may have been 5 or 6 years old, but I got this. And if you're looking on our YouTube, this channel, what I'm holding up is, it's a little Santa Claus. It's ceramic. It says "Have a Merry" on the front. It doesn't even say "Have a Merry Christmas." You see that? But if you look underneath here, it's a place that has a hole on the bottom, and in the top, on the back of his little stocking cap, is a place where you can put money. Yes, this is a Santa, and he has a little frilly beard. This is a Santa Christmas piggy bank, and for some reason I don't know why, I just loved this little thing. Every year my mom would take it out and put it on a dresser in my room or somewhere around the house or wherever, and I'd put money in it, and then at the end I'd pull the money out at the bottom and go spend it on something. So great memory. But one of the years, I don't remember if I dropped it or it fell off the shelf or what it was, but if you're looking at the camera, you can kind of see that poor little Santa's head is all cracked up. And my dad grabbed it and put glue on it and fixed it. But forever now, I look at this Santa and I think of the joy that I had, but I also see the crack. Right? It's an imperfect gift. It's an imperfect representation of what Christmas can be like. And I don't know for you, for me, I know that I've gotten into the Christmas seasons. One more look at this if you're on YouTube. Yeah, cracked, but he's cute. In fact, I'll just put him over here. Maybe you can see him in the background. I'm not sure with the video, but I don't know. For you, I know, and for me, you know, we ramp up toward Christmas, and we have all of these amazing expectations, but it can be filled. It often is filled with imperfect moments, right? When the holidays come around, it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the expectations that come with the season. We want to have a perfect Christmas, you know, the perfect picture perfect tree, all of the presents under the tree. In fact, I'm remembering my Stretch Armstrong that I got when I was a kid, and just the wonderful things that we had. The perfect family gathering where there were no arguments and everybody got along and just had fun together. We all kind of want that in our heads and have that as our experience for Christmas. But you and I both know the truth is, a perfect Christmas isn't always possible. right? Now, we all, like I said, we have different expectations of what the holiday season is supposed to be about, and often those expectations can lead to disappointment. So it's important to remember that an imperfect Christmas can still be a wonderful one. In fact, some of the things that we do, not at Christmas, but Thanksgiving oftentimes, we go back through and we recall past holiday events, and we end up laughing with our family because some of the stupid things that happened, like one of our anniversaries, our 5-year anniversary, Kelly and I spent not celebrating our marriage, but we spent in a laundromat because our washer had broke down, and so we spent literally all day doing all this laundry with a couple little kids. It was just crazy, but we laugh about that now, right? So how do you learn to accept the imperfections of this holiday season, and how do those imperfections add to actually the beauty of the season? So before I talk about a couple of real simple things to do, think about your Christmas this year. So I'm recording this in 2022. If you're listening to this in the future and it's in the middle of the year, think about a holiday event that might be coming up. What are the expectations that you have? What do you believe should happen or could happen? Or what have you been planning for all of this many, many months, and you're expecting it to happen this Christmas? Just kind of put a pin in that. Think about that. This year, 2022, we are now hit. Most of the U.S. now is hit with the Snowmageddon, as they're calling it. It's a massive storm that's covering and blanketing most of the United States. Denver had like negative 30-degree temperatures. Des Moines, Iowa as well. We actually didn't. It's cold up here. It's negative 10 and windy, but it's not as bad as some of the other places. But I saw on the news this morning. In fact, we were with friends last night who are coming from Wisconsin, Milwaukee area. We met them last night. They flew in, and now they are on the plane to Roatan, Honduras. We actually met them there last year. So they're going to a nice warm vacation, but they were freaking out a little bit because of this snowstorm that's coming through. Are they going to get on? What would happen if they didn't get on the flight? And so many people are stranded right now as I'm recording this around the country. Someone said 3,000 plus flights are either canceled or delayed. Can you imagine that? 3,000 times 100, that's what, 300,000 people that are displaced. That's an imperfect Christmas. That's an imperfect holiday season. So here's kind of my advice, and this has to do with pivoting too, because you know that whenever you're making changes or plans or you have expectations, that something always goes wrong or doesn't go as planned. So how do you handle those times, those events, those things in your life that don't go as planned and they what you would call imperfect? Well, instead of trying to force a perfect Christmas, focus really on what truly matters. And I'll tell you that in a second. But instead of trying to force a perfect Christmas, keep those expectations, but hold them loosely. My wife makes an amazing batch of pierogies. She's Polish. Sometimes those batches work out great. Other times it doesn't. So if the pierogi falls apart, hang on to those kinds of things just loosely. But focus on really what truly matters in these celebrations, and specifically Christmas. And mainly the celebration of Christmas is the celebration of our Savior Jesus Christ coming into the world. That's worldwide. That's for everybody. And so that's the main celebration that we have, that we see. So focus on what truly matters, which is Jesus, but also focus on spending quality time with your loved ones. And again, it might be imperfect quality time, but whether it's a small gathering or a virtual celebration, it's important to cherish the time you have with each other. several of you have thought, oh my goodness, I wish I would have known that so-and-so was not going to be around next year because I would have treated them differently during this Christmas. Just celebrate every moment with each other is precious. Another thing is take the pressure off of your Christmas by enjoying just the simple things, just the very, very simple things. Bake Christmas cookies, watch seasonal movies, make homemade decorations. Oh, the seasonal movies thing. So Kelly and I are doing this thing completely different this year. We've never done this before, but on Peacock and Netflix and Prime, all the Freevee, all those places, there's just a slew of these really cheesy Christmas shows, and it always involves a high-powered person moving from New York to go back home to Des Moines, Iowa. I don't know why Des Moines stuck in my head. Going back home to Des Moines, Iowa to take over their family's Christmas tree farm, and it's falling apart, and this person has a love interest in New York, but then he meets her old flame from high school, and then something happens, and it's they break up, they like each other again, then they break apart, and then in the end they love each other, and all is well with the world. It's the same formula. Boy gets girl, boy meets girl, boy meets girl, boy gets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl again. That's kind of the standard. So we started watching one of those a day for the last, we've seen, since December 1st, so probably at least 15 of these. But it's really, that's one of those things that is just simple and fun to do. So watch those seasonal movies. The activities, those kinds of activities aren't only just fun, but they're just a great way to create lasting moments. Illustration of that, a couple of years ago, we were really tight on money. And we all, as a family, the four of us decided we're not going to do gifts at all that year for Christmas. And that there's just something wrong with that. It just didn't sit well with me. So I ended up going and I spent $20 on each person. And I went to the dollar store and Walgreens. And I bought as many $1 gifts as I could, and I individually wrapped them up. And we still talk about that Christmas where I played Santa, and we opened up Pez dispensers, we opened up a pen that I gave my son, all these crazy little gifts, and we laughed and laughed. So create lasting memories by just accepting the imperfection of it all and just loving the gifts that God has given you and the season that we're in. If you are getting stranded, that's a hard one, but maybe there's a relationship, a new relationship, a friendship as you're talking to people that might spur something more. I don't know. Just try and find the positive in all of this, the imperfection that you see. And sort of like my little bank here, you'll always have that memory, and you'll always see the cracks in each of the Christmas celebrations that you have. So one last little thing, Christmas, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just memorable. Find the joy in the little things and make this holiday season one to remember. Well, I hope that has been helpful for you this Christmas weekend, and I just wanted to give you a heads up. My new course, 5 Steps to Work You Love, is out and available, and if you are interested in what that looks like, I'm running a seasonal thing all through January to kind of get people started about thinking maybe I do want a job pivot or a life pivot. What does that look like? The normal price for the course is $297, but I'm going to offer it for $97 just for this next month, all the way through the end of January. That's like my whole coaching program, which is $3,000 plus, for $97. So you can't beat it. So go to the show notes, go to pivotpreneur.com or toddstocker.com, and you'll find the notes there, or the link to that there. Just remember, you're why I do this podcast every week. I say that every week because it's true. You're the reason I do this podcast every week, because I want to add value and leadership and hope into your life. So thanks again. Remember, if you discover, develop, and deploy your purpose, you too can become a pivotpreneur and find work and a life that you love. Make it a great day. Have an awesome, imperfect Christmas, and we'll see you next time.